Okay, this is a review lesson for the test. It's kind of a review lesson for all the tests that you were given. And what I'm going to use as is problem set 99. So if you want to do these again, you can go to lesson 99. And I'm going to do number 3. And number 3 is, this is on page 420, if you want to follow along with me. The product of 5 and the sum of a number and -8. Okay, these are the word problems. So we're going to do the sum of a number and -8, which will look like this, -8. And the product, it says the product of 5 and the sum of a number and -8. So that will be 5 times. And then is, so that's your equals, 9 greater than, so it's going to be 9 plus, than the product of 2 and the opposite of a number. 9 greater than the product of 2 and the opposite of a number. So it will be this times 2 times the -n. Okay, so then we'll just solve for this. Minus 40 equals 9 plus -2n. Move the 2n over here. And we'll get 7n. We're going to plus the 40 and plus the 40. And then we'll get 7n equals 49. And that means n is 7. Find the number. Number 7. Okay, let's look at number 5. It's a word problem also. Number 5. And number 5 says, when the nurse gave the shots, she noticed that 34% of the people winced and the rest were stolid. So 34% of the total shots winced. And then what else does it say? And the rest were stolid. Well, if 34% winced and the rest were solid, the difference must be 66%, because that is the 100%, right? So 66% of the total was stolid. So this many winced, that means this many was stolid. Okay. If 3,300 were stolid, how many shots did she give? Well, they're looking for the total amount of shots. So if we use this equation here and say 66% of the total were stolid, and they told us the stolid amount was 3,300, and they want to know the total amount of shots. This right here, that's the equation we're going to use. And then we'll just divide by 66% and divide by 66%. And that answer becomes, whatever that answer is. I didn't write down the answer. Let's see. I'll get the answer key in a minute. Sorry. So number 5 becomes, that becomes 5,000. This answer should be 5,000. So that is the total amount. Total amount of shots given. 66% of them, 3,300, were stolid, and 34% of this total winced. Okay. Now let's do number 6. Number 6 is consecutive integers. Now, the consecutive integers are like this. We've got to find 4 of them. So we're going to have n, we're going to have n plus 1, because that's the next one, n plus 2, and n plus 3. That makes 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if they said even or odd, if they had said that, then that was going to be n, and then n plus 2, n plus 4, n plus 6 for even and odd. But they didn't. They said consecutive integers. So it's just 1, 2, and 3 added to the n. And here, if it's even or odd, you're going to skip every other one. So it's going to be n plus 2, n plus 4, n plus 6. Okay, so the next thing is find 4 consecutive integers that the 5 times the sum of the second and third. Okay, this is the second and third. 5 times the sum of those, n plus 1 and n plus 2, n plus 1 plus n plus 2. Was, or that's the equals, equal to 6 less than 7 times the first. Well, 7 times the first is 7n, 6 less goes here. So you want to put that on the end, but I mean you could put it on the front too. Minus 6 plus the 7n, either way. So less 6 is a negative. 7 times the first, which is 7n. There's the first. Okay. Now, let me write that over here, because I know there's some glare on the board. So let me write this over again. N plus 1 plus n plus 2. And then we're going to solve it. 7n minus 6. Okay, so this becomes 5n plus 5 plus 5n plus 10 equals 7n minus 6. So this is 10n plus 15 equals 7n minus 6. And we're going to minus the 7n to both sides, minus the 15 to both sides. And we get 3n equals negative 21. And divide by 3, divide by 3. N is negative 7. Okay, so that's what n is. Okay, that's one of your answers, but you need to solve for all of them. So the next one is going to be if your answer is negative 7, then your next 3. So you're going to have n is equal to negative 7, n plus 1 is equal to negative 6, n plus 2 is equal to negative 5, and n plus 3 is equal to negative 4. So this is the answers they're looking for right here. The consecutive integers for this problem. Okay, the next problem we're going to do is number 13. And number 13 is the difference of two squares theorem to find the solutions. Okay, now I do this a little bit different than the book. So the first one, this is A that we're going to do, is like this. And what you do is you need to get the x by itself, okay? And how you do that, you take the square root and the square root, and then you solve for it, and that ends up being x is equal to the square root of 64, which is 8, but it's a plus and a minus because negative 8 and negative 8 is 64, and 8 and 8 is 64, multiplied together. Okay, then B is x squared equals 32. So we do the same thing, a square of a square, that's so we can end up with an x. Square this side, square this side. So now we have x equals the square root of 32. Well, that one you can do the prime factorization of that one, and you're going to end up with 2. And 2 times 16, well, 16 can go another 2, and then you got 2 times 8, and you can go another 2. 2, 2, 2. Let's see if we got too many. 2 times 2 is 4, 8 times 2, 16 times 2 is 32. So then we pull out the pairs here, and we're left with x is equal to 4 square root of 2. 4 square root of 2. Okay, what's my place here? This is number, what is this? And that is also a plus minus. These have to be a plus minus, okay? 4 square root of 2. Okay, let's do number, it's hard for me to see in here. I have to keep it dark because there's too much glare on the board, and then I have trouble seeing with not enough light. Okay, let's do this next one. This is C. C. 13C is x squared equals 11. So we're going to do the same thing, square root to get x by itself. And this is going to be a plus or minus square root of 11. Okay? So we don't really know what it is. If you did it on a calculator, it'd be a plus or minus whatever it ended up on your calculator. But that's as far as they want you to go on this. Okay, the next one I'm going to do is 14, number 14. And 14 is x squared plus 11x plus 28 divided by negative x squared plus 5x. And then we have a divided sign here to divide, but I'm just going to change that to a multiplication, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bottom on the top, the denominator on the top, because that's how we do these, minus 3x squared minus 10x, sorry, I hope you can see the end over here, and divided by x squared plus x minus 12. Okay, so now what we have those equations that we have to factor out, so we can simplify this. And let's look at that first one. And what is that first one going to be? It is going to be